Dodge, Yahoo, Phantom of the Forest, you Spear, Finger, Fire Dragon, Ohio Grassman, Silver Giant, Bloodless Howler, West Virginia Vampire, Coyote King, Hogzilla, Devil, Dark Coyote Killer. Cave creature, Mothman, Smoke Wolf, Lizard Demon, Ashman, Grafton Monster, Cow-killing Bastard, Shadow Creature, Dustman, Cherokee, Death Cat, Wild Man, Great Fire Rape. What else do I have to say? Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet. Snarly Gastro Team, Red Island Bear Beast, Silver Giant, Squalling Savage, Black Wolf was kind of average, Stone Giant, Raven Mocker, Midnight Whistler, Wampus Beast, Wawa Woman, Ohio Grassman again. Technically Huckleberry Wolfman or Wolf County need to find the X again if we hunt the Lightning Man. Webster's Werewolf, Daily Howl, Kentucky Hellhound, Little Girl, Headless Horror, I can't take it anymore. Steal yourself some chicken wire, and I'll get some lumber. Catch the Thunder Brothers. Don't you dare get out of the golf cart. We can keep our big seats while we hunt the big feet.
Well, this here's BIGFEETS, the only Mountain Monsters watch-along podcast. I'm Robert Brockway, coming to you live from a cornfield with this live cornfield update. I am lost in the cornfield. Back to you, Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean, and bon voyage, sucker. I immediately went to work. First, I obtained a certified copy of a birth certificate through the Hall of Records in the name of Williams, of course. That took me the better part of the morning, which left the afternoon in which to show up at the Department of Motor Vehicles to get a temporary license as Mr. Williams. At home, I created a laminated college picture ID just for insurance. And so, before I even had time to get used to the idea, I was off to meet Ames in Washington, wondering what in the hell I'd gotten myself into. It was the same thought I'd had when I'd lost my virginity. Now I'd reached a similar turning point. The beginning of another loss of innocence.
And I am New York Times bestselling author Jason Pargin.
You guys ever notice this? You notice how being a DMV is like losing your virginity? You guys ever notice this?
When Frank Dukes gets a fake ID, it's like fucking.
I fuck like I get a fake ID laminating?
You guys don't laminate when you make love?
I mean, I guess depending on how gross you want to define that as. I guess.
Jamie, we can cut all this. The Frank Dukes got out of hand this time,
this
Jamie.
This is the wrong foot to get off on.
Let me find one where
podcast.
he kills a guy with a credit card or something.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay. Wasn't expecting that one. All right. Well, let's see. Let's get our plugs out of the way so we can talk about this fantastic return to form here. Sean.
You should go to 1900hotdog.com. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/1900hotdog. It's great. It's like the golden age of the internet. We have like talented comedy writers doing jokes every day. It's like $5 a month, and you get daily articles and bonus podcasts and Discord movie watch-alongs. What a value.
We used to call ourselves the last comedy website. I think we might be the last comedy at some point. Like it.
Yeah.
Our opponents are falling across all of media. We're gonna be the only ones left. And with that wonderful segue, how about you, Jason?
Sean, did you give the Patreon URL for? You said it's only $5 a month. Did you tell them how to find the Patreon?
I thought I did. It's patreon.com/1900hotdog. Did I not say that right?
I just want to emphasize, because that also funds this operation that we are doing.
True.
None of us have time to be doing this show. We make nothing doing this. Aside from my $20,000 appearance fee per episode, this is purely an offshoot.
We happily pay it.
It is something we're doing just because, not because we want to, but because we have to. We can't look away. There's a company Slack for this operation that I should not have a membership to because I do not work for 1900hotdog. And sometimes I just go in there and share screenshots from Mountain Monsters. And I do that because I cannot yell at my wife, hey, they're lost in the corn again. She has a job. She has a bunch of stuff going on. She has like an important actual job. And I can't burden her with that. So we are on here to unburden ourselves. We are asking you to go and get a membership to their Patreon It does not give you access to this show. Everyone has access to this show regardless, but it does fund this show and the rest of their operation. So I am plugging that, even though I do not work for 1-900 Hot Dog. It literally is the last one that has not pivoted entirely to video.
Oh man, in this spirit of giving, I should also give my plug to 1-900 Hot Dog, but I'm not going to. I, of course, am legally obligated to promote my book, I Will Kill Your Imaginary Friend, for $200. Comes out January 27th, 2026. It's coming up. It's sooner than you think, and you have to pre-order it. Normally, like, all authors say that. They all say, you have to pre-order my book, because, like, that's how booksellers know which books to buy, and that's fucked. I know, I get it. That's not why you have to pre-order my book. You have to pre-order my book because I'm going to fucking prison if you don't. And I'm taking... Where did we decide you guys are in the order here? Is it whoever? I'm taking these two beautiful faces right down with me. I have gigabytes of things they said. I'm gonna keep pointing anybody I'm pointing to right now. Anybody I'm pointing to, Jackie Chan over here. Anybody I'm pointing to, coming down with me. You're all going to prison with me. I've said a lot of things. I believe I wish jihad on my publisher's lawyers at some point. Shouldn't have done that. I'm gonna have to sell a lot of copies to make up for that. So if you love this podcast and you want to see it continue, you will buy my book and save it from me. Please.
Yeah, and I also saw on social media where Robert was begging everyone to cancel their 1-900 Hot Dog Patreon and use the money to buy his book instead, and saying that he would actually
still 100% support.
Give you a signed copy if you could demonstrate that you had taken money from this operation to buy his book.
I'll honor that. I'll honor that to this day. Whatever day you listen to this on, I'll honor it.
There's a finite pool of money that we are all fighting over like dogs, and only one is going to survive.
And it's me. It has to be me. It has to be me. You have to buy my book. All right. Now that we're clear, we're watching Mountain Monsters. I believe it's season fuck episode U. There's no order. HBO Max seasons are disappearing, so like, just look for the title. The title of it is The Waya Woman of Jackson County.
Yep.
Whatever order they have these in there, I'm pretty sure they all have the same title. I can't commit to that.
If the structure
100%.
is perfect, then you're on the right one. If they doing every single thing exactly right, like the good old days, that's the one we're talking about.
That's this one. Okay, so they give us a jump scare right off the bat by doing a previously on Mountain Monsters. Like, you're going to need to know what happened. I'm like, fuck, no, we're out of the dark forest. You can't put us back in the dark forest. They show us Jeff almost getting crushed to death in a car nobody locked him in. They show us that tape of the second puzzle master.
To be fair, To be fair, he only had a little bit of warning when he said, "Hold on, I think I hear something, guys. I think I hear some kind of it sounds like a diesel. Guys, there's a truck coming really close to me. Guys. I'm leaving out 20 or 30 minutes of it, but like, I'm saying it just came out of nowhere."
Yeah, it's like the scene in Indiana Jones where the boulder starts rolling towards him. Only if Indiana Jones just stood there going, "Wow."
If Indiana Jones got a fax from the boulder, scheduling a meeting to crush him.
Any minute now. They had to watch a tape from a second puzzle master, which must have driven their first puzzle master completely fucking insane. You guys you cannot do a second quest. You're still on my quest. You never fulfilled my quest. You're never gonna get the Stonish Giant. What am I missing? New puzzle master demanded they hunt several mini monsters before they can fight the boss.
No, stop. You're following right into the same trap. Clear your mind of all of that. Don't ponder how many rogue teams there are. I think there's 5. We're done. That's the past. All that matters right now. Very simple. Even if you have never seen an episode of this show, even if you have never listened to an episode of this podcast, so weird that you started here, but whatever. Maybe a friend recommended it to you. All you need to know, there is a cryptid meaning a mythological creature, a mega boss, ultimate boss called Spearfinger. In order to get Spearfinger, there's a list of 6 mini boss cryptids that they have to go through. That's it. That's the show now. That's
Diablo 4 rules.
Yes. Now, they did not explain
I know
the
you might
mechanism.
be thinking, oh, Yeah, they each drop an item. No. They just have to hang out with them. They have to get chased through the corn by them. We're not sure.
It will be clear after they've done the Waya Woman. That's the episode we're about to start to watch live and
Exactly.
commentate on. There'll be an amulet or something, and they'll find a crown with like 6 holes that it like Resident Evil or whatever. You plug it in there, and then that will give them the power to summon the Spearfinger. But I'm not going to spoil it. We don't know. We're going to watch it right now.
It is a return to form. Jason, I think it was you who said at the end of the Dark Forest arc there, or at least somewhere near the end of the Dark Forest arc, that if this was their first, that Dark Forest season was their first like real experiment with like serial storytelling. So if they think it went well, like that's the show from now on. So we're right back to the classic format. As soon as they finish that, they're like, Nope, that wasn't it. We didn't do that good. We fucked up. We're right back to the most. I would argue we're back to like season 2 classic format.
It's
We
wonderful.
have regressed.
Kicking off
really
truck
far.
briefing. Now, it's not the same guys. Some of them are near dead now, but that doesn't matter. It is classic kicking off.
Yeah,
classic
we used to
truck
call
briefing.
it Trapper's Truck Briefing. It's Buck now, so we're calling it Buck's Truck and Suck. That was a fan poll. We didn't choose that. The fans chose that name.
There was no
if you're
second
wondering-
option.
Yeah. That was 100%
What
vote.
could it have been?
120, I think.
Nailed it on the first try.
If you're wondering why that name, it's because the briefing always takes place in a truck. So there you go. Buck says they made a decision as a team to get to the bottom of the mystery of Spearfinger and hunt these creatures. And right in the middle of his sentence, Huckleberry goes, "Hell yeah!" from the back seat, startling Buck and Jeff, who were like, whoa, that is a weird energy. I think he's pretty
loves teamwork.
visibly drunk back there.
Yeah.
Like, he is slurring his words.
There's that too.
He's making some wrong decisions. And also, they did not make this decision, by the way. The new puzzle master said, you have to go do this, and their decision was okay. We're going to go do that.
Yeah, it was do this or do nothing. They decided to do this.
Yeah, and I don't think... Okay, so in any normal storytelling, when the villain gives you a mission that you have to go, like, the heroes are either going to say no, like, no, we'll risk everything to defy that mission rather than go along with it, or they're going to be like, yeah, we'll go do your mission, but then we're not going to do it your way. We're going to go recruit all the monsters to be on our side against you or something, right?
There'll be a twist, yeah.
You're supposed to corrupt it somehow. If you just say yes, we'll go do what you ask to the villain, you're the villain's henchman now. Like, that's what the henchmen do. You work for the villain. So it's just funny that they made that decision immediately. Like, yeah, we're gonna work for that guy.
Huckleberry
As a
couldn't
team.
wait to be a part of it. I really liked how Jeff was trying to do Huckleberry's energy. He was trying to get that enthusiastic hell yeah energy. So he says, let's kick some ass. just the most little brother fella.
I brought my shotgun revolver. Wait, no, it's just ham this time.
Just
Sorry.
Who needs ham? I brought enough ham for 2.
Oh, shit. Buck says we're going to crack this case wide open because we're the best monster hunters in the business. Buddy, you are only doing this at behest of better monster hunters.
Yeah, they've actually encountered several different groups of monster hunters, each one demonstrably better than the Ames team in every way.
That last one made a whole shack about your failures. Like,
It took you
I've
like
never
a
seen
year
somebody
to
make
find.
a shack.
And then
of failures.
when one of you went to go look at it, almost died walking
Almost
from
died.
their truck to the shack on accident. Didn't
Two
step in a
again.
booby trap.
To again simply behold your many failures. That was his goal, and he almost died doing it. Wow, just a hell of a start here. They do explain a little bit about Spearfinger. They say Spearfinger is said to have a stone body that repels arrows, which they have done before.
They
in the
tried.
form of the-
I did like
the
this how
stone-
they said if they shot her, the arrows would bounce off her, like the Indians just every now and then tried to kill Spearfinger with arrows. My God, that
Nope, still doesn't
stone
work.
body.
I assume it's just like the last time they did this, which again was the Stonish giant whose corpse they have given up on retrieving. I assume.
No,
That's the reason for this.
That's in the past. We're not. Look, if you start
Can't mention it.
if you start digging into that, the fact that the group they're obeying, that they're doing this on their behest, you start to ask, well, is this the same group that almost killed Trapper? Is this the same group that tried to set your truck on fire? Is this the same group that kidnapped all of you and made you, like, strapped you into a porn shack and is that who you're doing this for? Or is it a different group and you're going to keep asking question after question? No, burn the lore. This is year zero. None of that matters.
But Spearfinger still is basically just the Stonish Giant. So, like, right. I assume we're going to find out that the arrows bounce off, but shotgun blasts still work real good.
Yeah, the Stonish Giant, the one Bigfoot that has died weakly to just a regular gunshot. It was the weakest, factually the weakest of all the Big Feet. The only one that died and went down easy.
Yeah, and it turned out that was his armor. His armor was mud.
His armor was mud. They made that clear that he'd put mud on himself, waited for it to dry, and then got surprised that a gun went through that. I mean, Bigfoot's not known for his, like, armor smithing, I guess, is the skill set we're using here.
Yeah, he's a level 0. He's working on that. So Buck says he believes Spearfinger is still alive. So, I mean, right away, that's one of Jason's main concerns addressed. This is a single immortal creature that they're going to go after and presumably kill. Not a whole species. First, they have to go after what they call the Waya woman, who is actually, it's another werewolf creature. And we get our first CGI cryptid in fucking forever.
What was the last one? Because there wasn't one during the Dark Forest arc, was there? We certainly never had a rendering of
only
the
when they
Predator.
brought up the Ravenmocker. They would sometimes show the CGI of the
because they did that before.
Yeah, it was an old one.
Before.
But yeah, this is the first new one they've made in years. Literally,
it looks
years.
way
like
different
4
too.
years.
It's I don't think they actually made this. I think they just took like a Todd McFarlane toy and just filmed it and like maybe took off all the little chains, like all the little chains and capes, and then
they
filmed
took
it.
off his pervert shit, and then they just had a nice werewolf left.
Also, speaking of throwback, we have to do the throwback practice of, is this a real cryptid that exists, or did they make it up for the show? I could find no evidence of the Waya woman outside of episode guides for Mountain Monsters.
I don't think they know they've never even settled on what she actually is. What they do know is her exact measurements. She's 7 feet tall, 400 pounds, so one shack, exactly one shack.
I think it's 1.3 shacks.
1.3? All right. I mean, I feel like he's put on a little since retirement, but okay.
You're probably right. It's probably a shack right now. It's a now shack.
Yeah, it's exactly one modern day shack. True classic. We're keeping this true. We tried new Coke. Right back to classic Coke here. Buck throws Jeff a bone and says, like, you got to fill me in on the folklore. And Jeff says this like he knows that he's been on probation for a long time, because he just immediately says she's known as Queen of the Blood Wolves. You're like, whoa,
yes,
well, holy shit, dude, that's rad what you just did.
Why does anyone call her the Waya woman? Why would you ever call her the much more rad name of Queen of the Blood Wolves?
Huckleberry really should have just sprung up and been like, Jeff, that kicks ass.
He doesn't.
Why don't you do that all the time?
He says, the hell does that mean? Like, you dumb fuck, you idiot ape. What the hell do you need to name the Queen of the Blood Wolves for you to know she's Queen of the Blood Wolves?
Tell me the extended universe underworld lore, please, Jeff. No, dude.
Yeah.
She's Queen of the fucking Blood Wolves.
Mayor of Waya County, named after the great mayor of Waya County, whose main export is carrots. No, he jumps right in, Queen of the Blood Wolves.
To be fair,
it says...
Well, no, when asked to elaborate, he says, well, she makes a blood-curdling scream like a woman being murdered. And they say that scream is so loud that it would draw in any lone wolf in the area, which is fine, but that in no way explains why they would get from that to she's called the Queen of the Blood Wolves.
You should have just stopped talking.
You
say she's Queen of the Blood Wolves.
I think what this means is that they're wolves that you find in people's noses, and she's their manager.
But yeah, she summons wolves with her girlish scream, which, like, no, Jeff, just... Oh, you said something so cool.
Huckleberry really disappointed me here, because he said, just imagine she gets all them together and is able to control them. Like, okay, I like where he's going. But I was really hoping he'd say we might be dealing with 7 or 8 lone wolves. But he didn't. One of my top 300 mountain monster disappointments that he did not say we'll be dealing with multiple lone wolves.
Of lone wolves, yeah. Operating as a unit.
each loner than the last.
It's like the
Each
freaking
more alone.
cast of Stranger Things where they're the loners and the rejects and they have 11 friends.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't had that many friends in my entire life combined.
All of them willing to die for you. Every single one.
You're the most popular kids in that town. All of us rejects get together, and all 15 of us get together to play D&D like the sad rejects we are. Like, no, you're running the school. I'm sorry, I've gotten off onto a tangent.
The ruthless
An
gang
important
of
one.
D&D players. Ruthless gang of D&D wolves, as we are on right now. Buck says, I've heard that name Queen of the Blood Wolves before. That's what Huckleberry calls his wife. Rodney Dangerfield tie adjustment.
As mad as I've ever been at my wife, I would have shot the man dead while he's driving. Don't talk about my wife like that.
Well, it's not even clear what the joke is he's making there. It's kind of nothing.
I think in the lore, Huckleberry did canonically marry a chupacabra at some point. I think that happened in the show.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe that's a
With a
reference
real heavy
to,
flow. It all makes sense if you know all these guys' backstory.
Queen of the Blood Wolf. Anyway, they do that sitcom, like, everyone laughs and we cut out of the scene. The laughter dies abruptly. And then we fucking cut right back into the scene. We go right back into the truck. You're like, wait, no, you were done. You were out. You laughed us straight out of the truck. You laughed us out into an establishing shot of the truck again. Like, you can't come back. And they did. They come back, and it's for nothing. They just repeat their mission statement again. And then Huckleberry goes, hell yeah again. That's what you came back for? Don't come back. Don't come back after the sitcom laugh break. You never come back.
I think it's because the laugh doesn't fade back into normal conversation when you say, like, hey, your wife's a monster. And they're like, ha, 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 ha. Like, to get back to where you're friends, it's like a whole separate conversation. Like, we better cut that. Let's just pull back in.
All right. We're at the first witness. Okay. So, we're back to doing witnesses, which is exciting.
Excellent.
I mean, they don't really do identifiable headgear, so I think their hat sack ran out during that last season.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, but it was such a beautiful sight when they just cut in on these two guys standing in the middle of a vast open field, just standing there completely still. It's like,
A field?
yes.
Felt
A
like
field
home.
of?
Corn.
Field of corn.
A field of corn. We're back, baby. We're back in the corn.
Baffling
We're back
corn.
back where we
I did
belong.
mention that at the top of this episode, the sizzle reel was 100% them being lost in corn with night vision. I can't see. We're in the corn. I'm like, oh my God.
We got to
Yeah, I
get
don't
back
want to
to our
brag, but
roots.
the second I saw the corn, I already knew the ending of the episode.
We got to get back to our roots, boys. You know what that means all at the same time? Corn!
Lost in the corn. Speaking of which, this whole episode, we now, from the rest of the series, I guess, have to imagine Rogue Team 5 watching them, like on their quest that they've assigned them. It's like watching their progress toward the Spearfinger. So all of this, they've got their drone out there, or their bugs, and they're just like observing the Ames team in action, the team they have designated to do this task. And so here they go, watch them work as they talk to these two guys are named Bo and Austin.
Austin, yeah. I like to imagine each of the rogue teams watching the next rogue team. So, like, Rogue Team 4 has to watch Rogue Team 5 watching them, and they're just all like, I can't believe these guys they cut in front of the line, and now they have to deal with this shit. Like, each one is just a cascading frustration of failures, watching failures. It's
Fun
gotta be
fact,
beautiful to
Bo
see.
and Austin are the names of my nephew and brother-in-law.
Oh,
Just
shit, so
a
this is
little
you.
jump scare for me, yeah.
This is a message to you. This is Sean Baby's episode. It's to let you know we don't know where you are. You might as well be in a cornfield, and we're never going to find you.
Also,
I think... Go ahead.
Well, they're probably going to say the same thing. There's an odd little moment where Bo, the older man, has to like explain why Austin is there. It's like, well, I couldn't take care of this farm myself, so I had to bring in this younger man to help me. It's like, nobody asked.
I wasn't going to ask, but now I am.
Yeah, now I am.
Well, now I am. That's weird. That's weird that you had an explanation in the hip pocket just ready to go. Like, barely even said his name. You're like, okay, I know you're wondering what he's doing here.
No,
Probably
I assume he works
corn
there.
related? Corn farmer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, all right, it's not, whatever it is, it's not that.
I don't know if you guys noticed this or had this in your notes, but Huckleberry's tits are fully out.
He's
Okay, we need to talk about this because this came up in the last episode, and where Huckleberry, this is the thing, I think actually it was Jeff who broke the seal on this, where he appeared wearing the bib overalls and otherwise fully nude. And then very soon Huckleberry started doing it like, hey, I didn't know we could do that. I thought legally you weren't allowed to wear that on TV. But I guess the FCC doesn't rule over cable, so do whatever we want. And then they actually did a thing where Buck called him out in scene saying, now, one thing, if we're going to take a 6-hour-long car ride together, you're going to need to put a shirt on. And then Huckleberry pointedly did not. I 100% believe that everybody else in this show wants Huckleberry to put a shirt on.
It's
obscene.
It's pretty vulgar. He's got one huge titty poking out the side of each suspender, and then it's a real, I didn't know this was a thing, but it's a low cut. It's a low cut overall that goes down below the hip line, and he's just got the filthiest briefs on under there. It looks like this is his slutty Marvel Rivals skin that you would have to buy for him. Like it's real obscene and really distracting.
Yeah, and he's next to like little round Buck, so it kind of looks like he's been feeding him. It's okay. He looks like a Dark Souls boss called Milk Bearer and Glutton. I'm just reading what it says in my notes.
Someday we're gonna find the guy responsible for your notes, and he's gonna be in so much trouble.
Yeah, because he's a pervert.
God, what is wrong with that fucking guy? I wish he didn't have access to this podcast sometimes. My God.
Jesus, we're 1 minute into this episode.
Okay. Austin says he heard a real loud squeal out by a tree in the cornfield, and he says it in a very odd way, like somebody has stepped on a puppy dog foot. When we cut, can we go again, Austin?
Because
it's a blood-curdling scream like a woman being murdered to summon the blood wolves, the queen of the blood wolves. And you said it
to Jeff saying, "Wow," because he clearly thought he was going to say something other than, "Yeah, kind of like you step on a puppy dog's foot," and it kind of like, "Yep, say the one we gave you."
They added a little music sting that you almost don't notice, but when he says puppy dog foot, the music goes like, like that's our clue that, oh, this could be related to the Waya woman, guys, the one with the dog powers.
So they don't cut and retake that scene, but what they do is they jump out to Huckleberry saying, that sounds like a puppy yelp, and then they come back and do we see take two. They leave take one and take two in. In take two, Austin says, well, a few days later, I heard the same sound, only this time it sounded like a woman being murdered. So not the same sound then.
Not at all.
I like
And
it.
he says the exact sequence of it sounded like a woman being murdered. Like he was, they're just like, hey, stick to the fucking script, buddy.
Still, we're going to leave all of this in the show. To be clear, this is all going in.
Yeah, you can see, it's
So
like
funny.
you can see his shirt's rumpled. He's got a fat lip. Just Colt is right off screen being like, mother, we'll put that puppy dog shit in there again.
But they keep pushing back. They're like, I think it's a bobcat. I think it's a coyote. But this young corn farmer who's just there for corn reasons, like, guys, I know what it sounds like when a lady screams.
So yeah, Buck makes a totally insane decision here to throw back. This is what I mean by throwing back to early seasons, because he's gonna be a skeptic. He's like, that sounds like a bobcat. No, you specifically established in the car that it sounds like a woman being murdered, the exact, like, word for word what he said. It's the only reason you're out here. Also, you had just, I want to say like a week ago or whatever, you got mind controlled by a witch. you summoned through a wedding portal and you woke up in like a plus-size go-go cage. You cannot go back to playing Scully after that. You can't be like, I don't know if the paranormal's real, but it puts you in a cage.
Yeah.
So they decide they have to come back and investigate anyway, even though they're now sure this is just coyotes or bobcats.
But if they come back at night, even though this guy specified he heard this noise during the day, specified as in the afternoon, they were at the end of their shift. Okay, well, we'll come back in the middle of the night and see if we hear it. Now, I think some people in the audience are saying, well, if you heard out in your cornfield a woman screaming like she was injured, did you go check to see if it was a woman that was injured instead of assuming which? Because frankly, even if you thought you heard a puppy dog get stepped on, you'd go check. Hey, somebody step on a puppy dog out there? But no, he did not. He's just like, that's weird. I better call the
Doesn't occur
Bigfoot
to
hunters.
any of the men to ask.
I better call the Ames team and then wait for them to arrive. They're who I call when it sounds like a woman is being injured. Jesus Christ, what a dark universe they live in. So night investigation. We're back to it. We're back to the old formula. They're back here. They're back in the corn. And I just wish we could do a quick. If you had an editor here, he would put in a quick flash forward to them screaming "lost in the corn," just a real 1 second clip. Be like, yeah, this is where it's going. Buck even brought his coyote collar.
Yep.
He's back to be. He's not even the lead. He's not Trapper anymore. He's back to being collar. They're so fucking demoralized from this. It's what depression looks like. He's tried that twice in the whole series. It's amazing he even remembered to bring that back. All right, so they set out. They immediately find tracks in the tall grass, and Buck determines that they're cat-shaped. So this is where a cat would lay down like he was stalking something, but that's way bigger than Bobcat would make. So I think they're getting cats confused in this. The Waya woman is now maybe part werecat.
That makes sense. She just screamed like a cat. Well, they did say, "Hey, Willie, there's a lady screaming." We heard about a lady screaming, and he said, "Well, it's probably a cat." So
now it's werecat. Now it's part werecat.
Yeah, why not?
What? Wild Bill sneezes, and I instantly got this sinking pit in my stomach that he was going to do "I'm allergic to werecats" bit. But Huckleberry saves us. He jumps on that Joke hand grenade, and he says, "Oh, maybe he just had a hairball." And it gets kind of a thank you laugh, thank you. That was not a good joke, but thank you for using it to kill a much worse joke that would have been coming along. So that's heroism. That's what heroism looks like.
So this is interesting here because this is almost something you can add to the drinking game, because the way this started was it was Willie who noticed a spot where he thought that it had bedded down. There's some grass mashed down, and he kind of lays down in it and then says, "It's still warm. I think it was just here a few minutes ago." So Willie is trying to build up hey, let's do it. Let's encounter the Waya woman. And then is diffused by Wild Bill doing a sneezing comedy bit. Not the first time that Willie has tried to say, "Oh, look, I found the xenomorph's lair," and only to have Wild Bill no, actually, there's something over there. Conversely, and as part of the same drinking game, every time Wild Bill tries to do a big comedy thing, only to have Willie crap on it and cut it off. Like in the last episode where Wild Bill was going to eat some turds off the ground, and Willie's like, "There's no time to be eating poop, guys. We're in a hunt." So I'm thinking,
didn't he shut down that cop bit too when Wild Bill drove up in the cop car?
It is a running thing. These guys are not always the best scene partners, is what I'm trying to say. They don't always go along with the other one's vibe. Sometimes they just immediately cut it off.
You know who's really vibing, though? It's Buck and Huckleberry in this episode. Because what happens next is Buck says, "You know what we need to do?" And Huckleberry just goes, "Yep." Buck says, "Let's get in the corn." They're both so eager. Just like a dog that keeps almost drowning in a swimming pool. They're like, "Let me get right back in there. I got to get right back in that corn."
It takes 1 foot into the corn before they hear the Waya woman scream. It's such classic mountain monsters. They get lost
It's
in the
her corn.
They find the monster 1 foot from their starting point. Yeah, it's her corn.
There's also going to be multiple instances where they get lost in the corn and they find a way out and reveal that they were 5 feet into the corn, which I realize that you're limited. Like the farmers probably don't want you tromping around the corn too much because they've got equipment and stuff. So they probably like, no, you can go right into the edge here. But they over and over again for the next 2 episodes, spoiler, are going to be like, I'm hopelessly lost. And then 3 rows over, aha, there's the house and lights and the highway.
I think those farmers just know by now, like, look, if you let them go more than 10 feet into the corn, you're never getting them back. We gotta get a helicopter out here. It's gonna take a week to find them. You can't go more than 2 rows. You have to be able to like hear my voice at all times, or you're just gonna get lost. So they're in the corn. We have to get back in that corn, and Huckleberry tries to get his little thing where he tries to get like the sizzle reel line, and he goes, "Everybody stay calm, or there's going to be blood on this corn."
And I would like to add another element to the drinking game, which is take a drink every time somebody in the show says a phrase that you think has never been spoken before in the history of the English language. I am not certain that anybody has ever said the 12 words, "Everybody stay calm, or there's going to be blood on this corn." I can't think of another circumstance where that exact thing would have been said.
Like a nude shucking party? I don't know. I can't picture it.
I liked here that they stopped for the second of two out of 3 times where they give the stats where I think it's either Huckleberry or Buck says the Waya woman's a wolf-like creature. It's over 7 foot tall and walks on its hind legs. And I just love that they keep reminding us that this is a Lady Teen Wolf Shack in a third. If any producers are looking for a slam dunk sure thing, I said Lady Teen Wolf Shack in a third. Contact my agent, set up a meeting.
Of the corn, you could make it like a Children of the Corn. If you need to tie it into an existing franchise for that IP, Of the Corn is right there.
They find a Blair Witch altar, like a dead chicken Blair Witch altar. So it's like a
primitive
trifecta
corn
of
altar.
mountain monsters. Yes.
Made out of corn, surrounded by dead chickens, and it really offends Huckleberry. He gasps and goes, "This looks like a massacre." he's
They
super
love animals.
concerned about the fate of the chickens.
It's weird that they don't seem to... Like, this does look like it took a little bit of work to put together. It's a bunch of corn stalks in a mound. It's sizable, and then it's got, like, corn tied around it. And then there are several actual dead chickens with feathers on them kind of stuck around it. It took a little bit of work to put it together, and it seems like it was put together in the absence of the Ames team, because Huckleberry seems to think what he's looking at is, oh, this is the site of these chickens having been attacked.
Right.
That's his main concern.
And
Yes.
later they're going to treat it like, oh, this is where the Waya woman stores this is like her pantry. It's where she puts her chickens to snack on for later. It's like, no, it's supposed to be a ritual. It's supposed to be like a ritualistic. None of them ever suggest there's a ritual occurring here.
And spoiler, they won't land, at least not in this episode, on what exactly that is. In a way that I don't think they're overly concerned by it. They're like, yeah, that's where... I think what do they call it on their maps? They call it the chicken structure. So they don't want to call it an altar. It's just a structure.
They don't
where
speculate
chickens are
if
dead.
it's summoning something or what it's supposed to mean at any point. It's very
Totally
weird. But
curious.
what matters is they've started their investigation. They found their very first clue. So the next step,
Time to get the fuck out of
get
here.
out of there. Time to go
fuck outta
home,
here.
back to the hotel.
Perfect Mountain Monsters Act 1. We've got witnesses. We got corn. They take one step into the corn, immediately find a monster. Then they find an altar. They have no idea it's an altar. They decide, guys, we've proven it's not a coyote. Let's get the fuck out of here before we die. It's just flawless.
Do not take any photos of the altar. Do not examine it. Do not look for prints. Do not take any artifacts back with you. Do not check to see if any messages have been left or anything like that. Do not look around to see if there's a Waya woman nearby.
There is. Willie said there was.
Done.
They had to tops, like even in the show with editing and everything, they got there, got out, walked a few steps in the corn, found an altar, and were like, let's turn in for the night. tops they were out there 15 minutes. Like, this is 7:15.
Yep.
And they're like, nope, we're out for the night. Gotta clock out. Job well done.
I hope I'm not
it's
stealing.
incredible.
I hope I'm not stealing anyone's quote of the show, but when they are walking back to the truck, Buck says, "If this is the Waya woman, I want nothing to do with her." But that's like your fucking mission.
That
you
was
stupid
going to be
baby.
my quote of the episode, but I knew that it would get called out because it's the only reason they came there. They have to find the Waya woman to defeat the main boss.
Yeah.
This is the first step. And they're like, right away, well, if there's a Waya woman out here, I want no part of that. It's like, this is the only reason you're here. What
It's your day
did
job.
you think you were coming to do?
I love the idea of running into Spearfinger and say, "Oh, you must have my 6 sacred artifacts." And they're like, "Well, no, we saw the chickens one of those guys left. Is that what you're talking about?" Like,
Also, we didn't get the
didn't.
other 5. Like,
right.
obviously.
And also, Rogue Team 5 watching all of this from their infrared drone and watching them just leave. Like,
Rogue Team 4 watching Rogue Team 5 being like, yes, that's how I felt about the Woman of the Woods when he saw the Woman of the Woods and he ran away. I was like, what the
Pulling
fuck?
their
It's
hair
the
out.
only
this is why
reason.
I locked him in that cage. Wait, was that us? I don't remember.
All right, so they're getting the fuck out of there. The next day, it's time for Wild Bill and Willie's Crackhead Trap Shack. We're back in the shack. We're back in the shack. Quack, quack. Willie is gonna build another trap, which hopefully will at least be mentioned again this episode, unlike the last trap he built, which was a placemat maze to trap the Indian Grim Reaper.
That they totally forgot about.
that they never even talked about
it or
again.
check it. They didn't check it even once.
Didn't even mention it rest of the season. He built it, they immediately forgot about it. So
Probably
Just
still there.
naming random children across Virginia at this point.
And he says, I think he took that really hard. That he made the Grim Reaper maze, and it wasn't great, but he put at least some like creativity into what it might be. And so when it comes time to return to form, and they're like, Willie, let's get back to focusing on the traps as a main part of this episode. He's like, well, I wanted to build something sleek and easy to move and lightweight, so I built an 8-foot long wooden box.
He has a cool name for it.
What's the cool name for it?
A cattle panel cornfield trap.
Cattle panel cornfield trap. It's the least effort he's put into anything since
Boxiest box. This thing would not hold a sick goat. It is.
This is worse than the traps they were building in the first 3 episodes.
If like your friend came along and showed this to you, you'd be like, "Oh, sweet, you're building a chicken coop out here. Do you need some help finishing it?" Like,
Yeah.
because this is not enough to be a chicken coop. They're gonna get out of this, or something's gonna get in. You need a little more help. It's the least thing he's built in a long time. Like, I think this is how. If I was Willie's friend, if I was Wild Bill, I would see this and immediately take him off camera and be like, "Are you okay? Are you all right?" Because this is how a trap builder leaves a suicide note. I understand that.
Did either of you notice that Willie has a notebook? Did he
he wrote down box.
No, it's go look. It's a notebook, and on the cover it says Willie's Trap Secrets.
Oh, that's
I love that. It's so stupid.
They don't even.
and it's just box.
They don't
box
show
after box.
close up of it or anything. He just has it in his hand.
He puts them on the TV show. And I mean, look, we should also mention this is the least anything has ever been. Like, this is the first thing you'd build. I'm not kidding. The world's greatest builder could not come up with a simpler thing to build. This is posts and cattle panel.
Yeah, this is first day in woodshop class.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't
Your
know.
woodshop teacher would be like,
maybe this, but hopefully
can't-
something better by the
I
end.
can't give you better than a D on this piece of shit.
But you know who does understand that this trap is not enough to carry the segment? Wild Bill, who has brought
true.
something. He has brought something
brought
to
a
the
bit.
show. Who wants to describe it? Because you can buy this shirt now.
All right.
No.
All right. I guess I'm the host.
Why
guess
do
I'm the
we
host.
not have the 3 of this shirt? Yeah, please. Broccoli.
All right. So they go to leave, and first of all, Wild Bill takes off his camo t-shirt to reveal a second unnecessary t-shirt below it. The pretense is that he's hot, so I don't know why he's wearing multiple t-shirts. But the t-shirt below it says Cool Cat Cougar, and it has a cougar on it with Wild Bill's face crudely photoshopped over the cougar. And like, look, it's not a lot, but in a better show, they would just continue driving away and not mention it, and that's like a little thing for the fans. When I say they stop everything, I mean it literally. Buck, like, almost crashes his truck into Willie's truck as they're getting in to drive away to stop them. He starts laying on the horn, he drives over and, like, veers into them a little bit.
They, like, shoot off fireworks. They're like...
They'll
get the whole community to look at this shirt.
They're screaming laughter. Buck is honking the horn of his truck in laughter.
Yeah,
this goes on for a long time.
And just all in his shirt, they literally all start screaming, shirt, it's a shirt.
He does like a one-man cocaine show where he's like, oh, there I was in 72 in high school. All the ladies love me. And it just goes on and on and on. He's doing
all
like
right.
Elvis
You understood
moves.
some of that. Okay. I didn't understand a lot of that. What I took away from that is that he seems to imply that his high school mascot in the 70s, I'm not 100% sure this is what he was saying. He thinks the high school mascot in the 70s was a cougar with his modern day face on it. Like it knew what Wild Bill was going to look like, down to the hat. It has his hat on it. And I believe ladies loved it. Is that what the vaudeville zit means?
I don't think he was in high school in He's not 20 years older than us, is he? They can't
Look, I don't know what he says. I don't know what he actually says there. Every time, like, transcribing Wild Bill is, like, word by word, you pause. And you're like, that can't be right. Pause on pause. No, that one's not right either. Pause on pause. I think the first one was right somehow. But he, at one point, he adopts a little low cat stance, and he says something about, get down with me, stealth. So, like, he's trying to make stealth happen, as, like, stealth means cool.
Hell yeah.
I think he's going to make stealth happen. I think it's pretty cool. But they just make a feast out of this almost a joke t-shirt to the point where you're like, good God, move on. But yeah, it's
from the wrong universe. It, like, looking at this, you're like, no one would react like this under any circumstances. It's so fucking weird.
I don't even want the shirt as a joke. Like, they've ruined it so hard.
Yeah. But if you want,
I'm not going to go buy it.
You can get it. It's now the Sons of Appalachia t-shirt store. At least it was last time I checked.
Oh, they put that on next to all of the AI art. Okay. Well, at least it's the one original thing they did that was not AI. So good for them. It's time to meet the next witness. And this is a guy named Donnie, who, true to form, is just idling somewhere deep in a cornfield waiting to be activated. And
hatless, but other than that, perfect.
Yeah, you're right. I could use a silly hat to describe him. Buck's the one who clicks on him, and he gives his side quest. He says he heard a woman screaming in the corn, and Donnie headed out into the corn and found...
He went out to check. Give Donnie credit.
Donnie's
he actually
hero.
heard a woman scream, like, oh, I should go see what that is. Instead of assuming it's a witch and calling a team of witch hunters, I should see if there's a woman out there in distress.
And there wasn't, but what Donnie found was a big crop circle. And then Buck says, and was there something in the middle of it? Because fucking
he forgot about the sacred chicken altar in the center of the crop circle.
Because the circle is not the remarkable part of the thing. That's just the clearing where the thing is. That's where the weird altar is. That's what would be striking about what you saw out there.
So funny.
You know, as soon as the camera's cut, like Buck and Jeff are just off screen going, this is why we didn't do witnesses.
Yeah.
This is why we didn't do witnesses last season.
Donnie.
I did not miss these fucking witnesses.
Your cousin Donnie
They're
fucked this
doing
up.
such a bad job.
They're
doing such a
We
bad
tell
job this
them
episode.
1 minute before we turn the camera on what to say, and they always forget what to say. And then we have to prompt it out of them, and then it sounds ridiculous because, of course, we can't do a second take. We don't know how to back up on the camera. It's all gas, no brakes. But the funniest part is they're like, oh, because initially I thought he was saying, oh, it's the thing they just saw. And Buck says, oh, no, we saw one of the thing you're talking about over whatever, on the neighboring property, or a quarter mile away, I think he said it was. So, of course, they do not want this guy to go show them the altar he found. His description of it is enough.
Plenty.
Because
yeah.
they didn't build 2 of these, or could not decorate that first one in a way to make it look like it's a second one. So for the rest of this episode, there will forever be a hypothetical second altar out there nearby. We don't need to see it. We can take, we get the idea.
Fine.
We don't really need to examine it or take photos of it or take note of anything about it. It's not, why would that be relevant to what we're doing?
There's a moment here where Buck leaves to go talk to the camera and he goes, people keep hearing screaming in these cornfields. And we're going to find out what it is. It's like, yeah, dude, the mystery has been solved. You know where she keeps her sacred shrine. And now a second you could just walk there to either of the shrines. But they're still talking like we're gathering evidence. Like they just saw her last night. It drives me insane.
You know her primary shrine and her summer shrine. Like you've got multiple places of residence.
Yeah, and in fact, he decides from this they know where to put the trap. Because we'll put it between the 2 shrines. Obviously, she has to commute between the 2 shrines. Obviously, that
They found 2, so he line angulates it. He's like, well, it's gotta be between the 2 points. This is like it's a 2-dimensional level. Like, no, well, what do you say? She could go vertical up over it? No, dude, there are other directions. I don't know, man. I can't explain triangulation.
There have never been other directions in the history of mountain monsters.
I think they later in this episode try to explain triangulation to themselves, and they do not get it. It doesn't.
Even with the triangle, they don't seem to get it.
We'll get to all that.
It's
very frustrating. We'll get to it.
Donnie adds something I don't want to skip over here. He says that altar, it was not built by humans. Now, I don't think he was supposed to say that. Like I have not watched the next episode yet, but unless it was built by wolves, I don't know where this is going.
That means in his heart, he knows that ghosts or witches or something, minotaurs built this altar, and then he still forgot about it. He still remembers more the flat area around it.
And then he did.
Donnie's the best. The best witness they've ever had.
The sacrificial chicken altar built by wolves, by blood wolves. So they've got the perfect place to place their trap. They offer Donnie a ride back in their Forest golf cart, which is crazy because this is it's his house. Like what?
That's what you get when you're the best witness. You win a free ride.
Like, did he not just walk out here? Like he lives here. I don't know. That's a crazy thing. And along the way, you understand why Donnie had to weirdly get in the cart with them. Because along the way, they stop when they see a house out here, and Huckleberry very naturally, very coolly says, "That's a cool old house."
Because it's not like a big Victorian haunted mansion. It's a dumpy little blue house. It's been gutted by whatever. It's just an empty, crappy little house in the middle of. You would not take notice of it, but he's trying to prompt the guy. I get that, but it was a weird way to do it because then Donnie very unnaturally has to go into this very long spiel they gave this witness. They gave him a lot to have to get through here.
Which is a bold choice after the whole chicken altar incident. So he says, "Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
This is not the original house. The first house burnt to the ground and 3 people perished in it. A man, a woman, and a little baby. And nobody knows why."
The fire, probably. Yeah,
probably. He goes on to say, and several years later, they built this house. And everyone in this one, the family was killed, attacked. And Huckleberry says, "Attacked?" And Donnie says, "Attacked." And Buck says, "Attacked? By what?"
Yeah, was there an investigation? Did the police think it was the screaming werewolf lady leaving a lot of evidence? Like the evidence festivals in the field next door? I guess what I'm asking is, did the local sheriff find the altar made out of their bones and then decide it was a tractor accident? Like, the werewolf lives here in this field. I'm frustrated.
He says nobody knows. And I'm going to spoil right now, in the next episode, that is going to become ridiculous, what he just said. But what matters right now, we've got a body count. The Waya woman has 7 corpses. It's a family of 4. They're going to reveal later. 3 died in the fire she started.
Maybe.
And then 4.
She got fire powers.
And then 4 died later to, spoiler, they were bitten to death. 7 dead bodies. That's something they had been very loath to do in the past, but they kick off, said, no, this thing's killed 7 people. Therefore, we don't stop it. More are going to die.
More are going to die. And Buck is getting to the bottom of it. He thinks, wait a minute, I wonder if the Waya woman had something to do with these mysterious unsolved massacres here in the Waya woman territory. The noisy one we met last night who leaves all these blood altars. So he's figuring it out.
At some point, it starts to feel like that meme about, what was it, kittens? About somebody who keeps adopting kittens, and then they keep getting eaten by coyotes until somebody chimes in and it's like, well, it sounds like you're just feeding kittens to coyotes. Like, at some point here, it stops being the Waya woman's fault, and you're just feeding families to the Waya woman. That's just me. That's
You're
just
blaming
how
this on like the county zoning manager.
Yeah, like
the city planner.
I don't know. Like when you send the third family out for the same crappy house and they also get eaten by dogs.
The realtor should have disclosed that. I agree. I think we found the culprit.
Anyway, they end that scene. Buck asks Jeff to look into the house because he thinks there might be something to it. Really? The multiple murder house in the Queen and the Blood Wolves territory? You think there might be something to it? And then he even does it again. As they drive away, you hear him softly repeating, there's just something to that house.
Now, they could have gotten out right then and given it a look. But
sure.
No, come back later.
There's another frustrating moment here because they now know there's 2 crop circle shrines. And so you put the trap between them, but they haven't told the Trap Shack guys, so they're just like looking around for a spot, right? Like they don't know.
And they find one.
Sure.
Their own spot.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with like the intel they gathered, which is stated by the show the reason they gathered this intel, so they can give that to the trap guys and put the trap in the right spot. This is the one time they do that so perfectly.
They're back to the... Yeah. You forget the old school episodes. They did that all the time. They would talk to the witness who knew where to put the trap after they had already built the trap.
So Willie finds what can only be described as a Waya woman highway. That's another classic. And he decides that's where they're going to put the trap, which hopefully is on that line between those 2 altars, since that has never been discussed. And no sooner do the words come out of his mouth than, like, Willie says, we're going to build the trap here. Wild Bill just starts hacking at the corn with a machete that he has, to the extent Willie has to jump out of the way and be like, whoa there, watch my toes, buddy. Just instantly slashing mode. Instant slashing mode. And then they proceed to build the trap in what looks like about 5 minutes worth of work.
There's no goofing. They don't have a bit for this. And at the end of it, Wild Bill says lamely, why a woman be right at home in this hen house, brother?
Because she's a hen now. She's a cat. She's a chicken.
Fox.
Yeah, she's a fox.
They're so demoralized to be back. Like they really thought they had something with the new format, and they're like, I don't even want to try anymore. So I guess we come back to the next day. That's all we're gonna do that day. We come back and the rest of the team are back at the house, which Jeff says is chilling what he found in his research. That he has to show them. There's no way they'd believe it. And he tells them exactly what Donnie did. There was the only new information he has is that the other family they thought was killed by wild dogs. And Huckleberry very wisely asks, wild dogs that went in the house? And
yeah. Why would they do something so non-dog-like? Do we know about any nearby creatures who can control dogs? Because if not, I don't know how this could happen.
It's the world's first dog home invasion murder.
Let me point this out, though. When he brings up his computer, he's got an actual fake newspaper. The tragedy strikes again. Entire family found dead. And then the text underneath it is not that gibberish placeholder text. They wrote an article. They've got a prop department that made them a prop that actually ties into... Now, the thing the newspaper is talking about, which is a family of 4 being eaten to death by a pack of wild dogs in their home. I feel like if that had ever happened, that would have been news.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be something you would know about. Like, that would be on the population sign of that town when you came in.
At the very least, we would now know that dogs can work door handles and potentially lockpicks, I'm guessing? Or just Resident Evil style exploded in through the windows. I'm not sure which would be a better news story. So they go to the house. The world's first dog home invasion murder house. It's mostly hollowed out. It's not really a house anymore. It's being used to store old farm equipment. Buck spots several snake skins and states, "I'm afraid of snakes," which you're like, oh, in a real show, that would be foreshadowing for something. So, we'll see. We'll see if this is a real show. They call her Queen of the Snake Wolves. I don't know. They soon find like a couple old foundation stones, they say. And one of them, Buck says, that's a triangle carved into the rock. What is this? And Jeff very quickly says, well, it's an old masonry symbol they used to. And Huckleberry basically goes, shut up.
Shut the fuck up, Jeff.
Shut the fuck up with that. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's something cool. It's something really, really cool. And so they decide, because the triangle kind of sucks, actually, it's not drawn very well. No. No way this could be a mason. A mason would have drawn a really good triangle.
No stone carver would make a triangle this bad.
Can I point out that there's a little moment here where they're looking at the foundation house, and Jeff is pointing out these houses, this was not the original foundation. You can tell there's a very old house here, and they built something newer and cheaper on top of the old foundation. And he starts to speak, not as the character Piss Boy Jeff in the show Mountain Monsters, but starts to speak as a guy who has actually lived around there for a long time, saying, well, yeah, they used to do these foundations. They would have these big sandstone rocks. They would use mules to hold them here. And it's for just a brief, maybe 20 seconds, you get a view of what the smart version of this show would have been, where hunting the folklore is an excuse to talk about the region and how these people live and the history of the people here and how they built things and what, the lifestyles they led and why they are the way they are. And then just immediately gets cut off because even he is like, well, that's a Mason mark when they would, and he's like, they ain't no Masons. Like, you forgot, we're not doing a show where people learn things. Everything we say has to be fake. Everything we say has to make you dumber.
And it did.
And they definitely did. Because I thought, once they found that triangle, I thought they were at least going to do triangulation, be like, hold on. If there's a third point, that's even more accurate than a line. Well, we could go to maybe what was in the middle of those 3 points or something, and then at least you'd get a sense of what triangulating is about. That's not what they do. They decide that each point of the triangle points to a different thing.
Buck says, and I quote, at least it's close.
Or at least it's close.
But, to reveal the shape of the triangle, he asks for a bottle of water and pours it on there, and nothing occurs whatsoever. It's now just wet. It doesn't make it more visible. It doesn't do anything.
It doesn't raise up and start glowing, which, he's so video game poisoned, he kind of expected.
It's an old treasure hunting trick.
But no, they're going to use some twine, and they're going to hold it along the line of one of the triangle's sides, and then follow it out, and hopefully figure out where that goes. And so they lead it out the window of the house, out into the corn, and they take 2 steps in the corn, and they find the chicken altar right there. Right there. Like, literally, they turn around, and they yell back inside the house, because that's how close it is to the house.
They're holding a length of string that they found. They found a little roll of string, and they're just holding the string, like baling wire, whatever it is, and holding it. It's not like miles of string. It's just right there. And they're not like, they could have just said, oh, the altar's right there outside the window. It's right over there. So I bet this is pointing toward the altar. No, they draw the string. It's like, guys, it's the altar that we forgot was right here.
So this leaves them
I would argue
triangulating.
if you're 10 feet from the thing you're pointing to, you don't need a map to that. I would argue. You could have built a line of rocks to it.
They're triangulating the position of a shack-sized werewolf in an area the size of my backyard. Like, if I went out in my backyard and there was a shack-sized werewolf, I would not need to triangulate
I would
its
look
position.
for a 300-year-old ancient map to shack, is what I would do if I was trying to find that shack. I would pour
Also,
some water on an ancient map.
They see that the chickens are now gone from the altar, and they speculate that she came back to eat them. And this is what later is going to cause them to bait their trap with chicken, because it's like, well, she had that chicken. That must have been like a kebab. She was,
It's like
she
a
puts a bunch of
refrigerator.
them around. That's how she.
That's where she keeps her snacks. That takes all the mystery and like horror out of the altars. This is where she keeps her snacks.
No, it was
It's like
not
her
a
little pantry.
sacrifice. It was not a blood sacrifice. It was not trying to summon anything. No, it's just that's just where.
Just a snack.
Buck just over there suspiciously burping up feathers.
I think you'd notice if you were missing 3 chickens a day forever. I don't know.
Oh, shit. So they decide whatever it is, that third point of the triangle, that they don't know what's at the end of it, because they decide the 2 altars are 2 points. They have to go check that out. But not before going and checking out Willie's sweet trap. They literally stop.
they're
Not
so
today.
pumped.
They're not going to,
investigation.
even though they've established that the 3 points are just a short stroll. Like
20,
walk
30 feet,
out
yeah.
the back door. It'll be right over there. No, they leave.
They leave. They leave to go look at Willie's box. And Huckleberry, what Huckleberry says when he sees this sad, sad box, the worst thing Willie's ever built, Huckleberry says, Willie's done it again. It's the meanest thing he could possibly
real
say in
fucked
that
up.
scenario.
I actually wrote down the phrase was, Willie does this every time.
Willie does this every time. Fuck you, buddy, Willie says, pushing him over.
At the side of a box that says,
Just one hand on each huge titty and pushing him over. They all praise the box. It says a suspicious amount. Amazing. It's amazing. It's so big you could put an elephant in there, which is not at all.
Also, it's very clever. They're impressed with the way it works, because the way it works is he'll put bait in the middle of it, and then when you lift the bait, it'll make the door close. And they make him demonstrate this, because like, well, just show me. Like, that's...
I can't even picture it.
Surely it can't actually work. And they do a demonstration where they pull the rope away, which causes the door to close, because gravity does exist in that universe. So yeah, it can only close. Like, yes!
But no werewolf could lift 35 pounds of cattle panel.
I just think it's hilarious whenever it happens that the bait they need for like an exotic, immortal werewolf monster is like it's a human food. Like, it's funny when they're baiting traps with apples for Bigfoot or what. It's like putting a pizza in there. Like, they probably like
because
pizza.
they don't even put like a chicken like they found on the altar, like a bleeding chicken from a farm. They get one from the grocery store.
Yeah, it's a grocery store chicken
delicious
like you would buy to
frozen
roast
chicken.
for your family. Yeah, she's going to love it. She's going to love it. It's a box full of chicken just for her.
So they've built a box and found a map to a place they've already been. It's a pretty productive day.
Classic episode. So now, of course, it's time for the night hunt. Now, I don't have to lay out their plan that they're going in here with, because they have a really cool CGI graphic explaining the whole thing. All right, so on one side, they have what they call on the map a chicken structure. Which is already very funny. Buck, Jeff, and Huckleberry are going to start from that and push in towards the trap in the middle. And as though that's a very advanced concept, they have a big red arrow slowly moving in, like, okay, take your time. See if you can follow along with the strategy. All right, and on the other side, Willie and Wild Bill are going to start at the other chicken structure, and they're going to push into the trap from that side. And then again, the slow arrow comes in, drifting in like, okay, are you getting it? Are you putting it together? And then, just as those come together in some kind of, I want to call it a two-taloned chicken movement, as those two are together, Willie and Wild Bill's arrow suddenly veers off away from the trap. And Buck explains along the way, they're going to go check out that blue house because there's something in that house that ties this thing together, but we don't know what. So it's a one-sided pincer movement with an errand in the middle.
It's
Because if you remember when they were at that house, what they discovered was that there's something there, but it's only there at night. But it's at that house. That's the thing. If you remember when they left, the thing they said was, we need to come back exactly here after dark. That was definitely what they said.
So this is design. They actually built in. Okay, so what they've been doing in their classic format, it has been a bit. So maybe you forgot. But their updated movement, the pincer movement, is always one side is supposed to be coming in to like finish the pincer movement, drive their prey into the trap. But some emergency happens to that other team. They get attacked, or they like get distracted. They get hungry. It doesn't matter. So now the other team that's still working their way in has to drop everything and run over to that first team to assist it. Now we're building that into the planning stage. We are now planning. When that arrow came forward and then veered off, it's the funniest fucking thing they can do.
Funniest shit.
They are planning the distraction and abortion of their plan into the graphic stage. Incredible.
Because even on their map, their pincer movement won't work because they're not pincering.
Yep. There's no way.
They're not doing the thing. They're
different
not pushing the monster toward the trap anymore. It's great.
Now,
This show is the best show ever made.
So Buck sees everyone is confused and unhappy with this plan, so he decides it's time for an inspirational speech. And what he says is, let's do this the Ames team way. We don't just stick our toes in the water. We pull up our Speedos up around our ears. We cannonball in and knock as much water out of the pool as possible.
Yep.
It's not quite Bill Pullman.
It's double Bill Pullman. Wild Bill goes, yeah, but he's the only guy who went that direction. Everyone else assumes this is supposed to be funny, and so they kind of laugh at the rousing speech given by a coward who is losing a mortal battle to at least 10 things, double that when his heart rate goes up, against a thing they've already run from because they found its chicken refrigerator. There's no one's been more doomed than these men. One of them has their tits out still.
I mean, just minutes after this, they're going to enter the corn, and Buck is going to say, "This corn is thick."
It's that we wasn't prepared.
As if there's varying ways to plant corn, and you're shocked that, man, they've got this really close together. It's like they're trying to maximize the amount of corn they can grow on this land.
You got thick corn. We're growing thick corn up in here? Oh, I don't know about that. We better get the fuck out of here.
One of the corns turns to camera and goes, "Speak for yourself, buddy."
Oh. Wild Bill and Willie, true to the form, true to the plan, they stick to the plan by heading initially towards the trap and then getting distracted and going to the house and ruining the plan. Which was the plan. Right. That was all part of the plan. Ruining the plan was part of the plan. They get to the house and immediately hear a bang on the machinery inside of it. So Willie clambers up and he kind of loops around, and he takes like a step towards what looks like a hole in the wall from the way that they're filming it. You look like you have something to say.
Well, I don't know how to describe this because the house, it had like a garage door, I think, that's been ripped off. So the entire house is open air. It's open to if you come around to this side, you're just seeing the entire interior. It's just the shell of a house, basically. But the way they film it, they're filming it from the side of the house where it's like a window. So Willie starts to climb in, and then Wild Bill just walks around the other side. And so
it's a naked gun joke.
It's a naked gun joke.
He's now watching
literally
Willie try to climb through a window, and Wild Bill's just standing looking into this open house he can just walk into while Willie is struggling to climb in. It is a naked gun bit that they don't play it as a joke at all. And I don't know if the camera, or if Willie thought the camera would pretend like that's closed off over there, like this is the only way in. But the cameraman once again is like, no, I'm showing the people exactly, because they've done this before, where Willie and Wild Bill will rappel down a thing, and then the camera will just pan over and show they could have just easily walked over it. It's like, no, you don't show that. You make it look like we infiltrated this.
We've made that observation before, that things are like a naked gun joke that they set up. This is literally like a famous naked gun joke where like they're in one room And then the shot is that they walk into the next room in Naked Gun, and like everybody else walks through the pretend set door, and meanwhile Leslie Nielsen walks around the wall that they're pretending was there. We just totally without comment, like, I'm just going to ruin this whole scene and we're not going to pay attention to it. And they recreate that exactly, like almost down to the blocking, an actual Naked Gun joke. And one of the better ones here, and they did not intend to at all.
No, they don't acknowledge it. They don't make a bit out of it at all. They're still trying to play up the tension of it.
They just fucked up and accidentally made one of the best fourth wall breaking jokes you can do on TV. It's incredible that they stumbled into that kind of success. They do find something, all right? They find the triangle again. And Willie radios Buck to talk about it. Only this time he says there's a tiny bit of fresh blood on it. And that's fucking it. That's enough to abandon the whole plan. Buck says, oh, shit, we gotta get over there. Like, no, dude. Now it's a no-sided pincer movement. You're all just in a house somewhere looking at a bit of blood. It's incredible. They come by, they start to head over there. They hear some noises in the corn and almost instantly panic. And just run full tilt into, I guess, the third structure, or maybe the second structure that Donnie was talking about.
The show doesn't know why this is here.
No.
Because they run into a structure, and instead of chickens, this one's got bunny rabbits stuck to it that are all dead and bleeding, again, in a ritualistic manner, which they don't stop and say, well, now, wait a second. This kind of makes me wonder if chicken was the best thing to use in the trap, because this implies there's like a different reason that it is impaling animals around this clearly ceremonial structure. So they run into it, and he's like, well, I bet this is the third point on the triangle, but from their own diagram, it can't be, because the house is over here. I realize people who are listening can't see what I'm doing, but the house is on one side. The two known chicken structures are over here. The third point has to be on the other side of the house. That's how triangles work.
Right. I think they got summoned there by the blood on the triangle. They said there's blood on one side of this. So that triangle we've been talking about going to, we should really go to it because now there's blood on it. And then they get there and there's a bunny structure. But it doesn't fit with the architecture or the landscape they've built. I guess we kind of skipped over how they did get surrounded by monsters in the field. Like when they were screaming, they were surrounded by like noisy monsters.
Yeah, they hear some noises in the corn. That's when they panicked and started running, and then they happened to run into the third or second structure. I don't know.
Here's the thing. They established in the truck briefing that the superpower of this creature is that she makes a squeal like a woman, and that draws in a pack of lone wolves. They never quite know how to stage an action scene like that. That exact thing never really happens, right? There's never a thing like we hear the squeal and oh my gosh, I think there's now wolves all around us. It's always just vague noise, and then they run away from it, and that's kind of it. The thing they talk about happening, spoiler, is never going to happen.
There's a beautiful moment where they leave this totally unknown, and that they're not even curious about altar. They're like, well, that thing sucks. I believe the exact quote from Buck is, this thing? I don't like it. And then they leave. He decides he doesn't like it. Yeah. So that's out.
That was
a
note to the set designer.
So they turn around, and instantly, like they have not left the crop circle yet, they turn around and Huckleberry spots the blue house. It's just right there again. It's just right there.
It's clearly...
I feel like they know we make fun of them for never walking more than 20 feet. So they say, well, hold on a second. This must be magical. Like we were way further away from this house than this. So like, I guess the Waya woman can now warp corn space or whatever, but like they are telling us that, hey, don't make fun of us. Something magical teleported us.
They just got lost in the corn again. You know, they just got... Well, I didn't think it was that close. Yeah, it felt like longer when you were lost out here for 6 hours. I understand.
I mean, the phrase Buck uses that, well, will these corn rows just go off in every direction?
And, like he's mad about it. Like he's frustrated.
No, they're very neat rows. It's very easy to tell what direction you're going, but in the lore of the show, I think I think the idea is they're back at the original altar that just has different... Because it's the one that was at the end of the string, right? Like, they walk out and there's the house. It's the one that the string led to before. That never occurs to Buck that this is where they are, even though on their own diagram, this is where they are. Like, this is the pincer.
So they're anyway, everyone's back at the house. The whole team gathers together to look at the blood, and they decide that it's coming from something upstairs in the ceiling. So they grab a ladder when Huckleberry spots what he calls eye shine out in the field. So now they got to split up. Buck sends Huckleberry, Wild Bill, and Willie to go check while he and Jeff go upstairs.
I do want to stop. I think it's important to say that when they find the blood, they know the creature's nearby. It's fresh blood. It's dripping. So what they do is they start looking for footprints and signs of blood. It's such a very important thing that the Ames team always likes to do when they're near a creature, and it's like really vital to either get away or find the creature. They're like, we got to find proof that this creature was here. And so they do. They do that, if you were wondering.
It's a classic. It's a classic episode. Return to form in every single way. So Buck climbs the ladder first, and he says, "I almost got to the top of the ladder. When I look, and hands down, it's the creepiest thing I ever seen." And now what he saw was a wolf head symbol, supposedly drawn in blood. I mean, very obviously paint, but let's not nitpick. It's kind of cool and kind of like a gamer banner that you'd unlock for microcurrency some kind of way, you know? It's definitely it's like a Halo thing or something.
It's one of your Ubisoft collectibles for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely not creepier than the several actual sacrificial altars they just encountered out in the corn with actual dead animals on them. Or the spirit Halloween mummy that was supposedly the woman in the woods that he got face to face with at the end of the dark forest.
Remember that diseased cow that had all of its flesh ripped off its back? That might be
creepy
a contender.
Too. I don't think the symbol's up at the top of the list is all I'm saying.
But also the thing they were trying to do here, because there was fresh blood dripping down, implying there's either a monster up there or a corpse or a carcass or something. And then he gets up there and it's like, oh, the walls are painted in blood. It's like, okay, yeah, fine. But is the thing you're hunting, because you kept hearing it
in the room.
Were you afraid that when you stuck your head up there that it was going to bite your head off your body? Because this thing has eaten 7 people or so that we know of. Is the premise when you saw the blood, the wet blood dripping down, it's dripping right now, meaning this painting was done seconds ago. Is the premise that it's right here, and they immediately shift into, what does this symbol mean? And from examining it and from the details, they declare, well, maybe this is the symbol of the Waya woman.
Yeah, they're going to get to the bottom of this.
Jeff says, I'm beginning to think that. Well, I'm not willing to confirm that yet.
They are in the backyard of a rampaging shack, and they're just like, I'm starting to think that creature running circles around us, dripping blood on us right now. Standing in the other room, very literally, we haven't even got to that yet. There's like a little girl in the other room that steps into the doorway and then steps back.
Okay, so they do stage a shot where Buck has the doors, and this took some planning. The doors open behind him. He's got like his back to it, and they have the exact little girl from last year. The girl with, what did they call her? They always just call her the little girl. The little girl from the dark forest walks by. That's exactly her in the exact same costume. And they do like a musical sting. And for at least through the next episode, before they leave this area, they do not acknowledge that the girl from the dark forest is here. So I don't know if that was supposed to be her or if that's the only girl they know who will... Because they didn't put her in like a wolf costume or anything.
Yeah.
She's got to be so frustrated. Like, it's a bloody wolf head. You're looking for the queen of the blood wolves. Like, you got to walk right back out of that closet and be like, fucking really? Really, guys?
I think she's supposed to be the Waya woman. But anyway, they
Waya
have her
woman
trapped.
is not
She's
a woman.
there.
The Waya woman. Have they ever established that the Waya woman is a woman that transforms into a giant wolf? Because they from the start,
No, I
they've
think she's
always
just
the
just called her
CGI
a giant wolf.
is werewolf_001.png. Like that's a werewolf that they used. And so I just assume she can turn into the little girl. Maybe they'll tie it together. You know how these guys are with long stories. They always wrap up all the loose ends.
Well,
Yeah,
when
Mike Flanagan over here just planting the seeds in the background.
When-
You never need to comment on them. The audience will put it together.
When Buck hears that noise in there, he investigates it in the Ames team method, saying, I'm not going to this room too far. I don't see anything in there. I'm going to keep it that way.
I've got a little more of that quote. All right. He says, he starts to go for that room and he says, I'm about to bust something with the butt of my gun here in a second. ... I'm not going in this room too far. If there's anything in there, I don't want any part of it. Instant bravado loss, same sentence. He started it off by saying, I'm going to crack that ghost in the face with the butt of my gun. Or werewolf, it doesn't matter. We haven't decided yet. Wait a minute, that's a little scary. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Also, Robert, what we saw was a little girl. That's who he said he's going to bust with the butt of his gun if he got in there. We did not see a werewolf. We saw just a woman or a young girl. It's hard to tell, but not even a ghostly girl. There's just a girl walked past. Could just be a girl who was in the neighborhood who just hangs out there.
Do you think now that Buck is in control of the show, that he's like trying to retcon away that he improvises little girls in scenes too much? He's like, no, they really are just always following me around. Like, I'm not even paying attention. It's not even part of the show, and there's just a little girl back here. We're not going to comment on it. It just happens to me all the time. That's why I'm doing that. That's the reason that happened, you guys. All right, where were they all? So the whole team hears what sounded to me like a minecart accident, but they say it's an enormous wolf howl.
Yeah, and we first have to establish
Yeah.
that the rest of the team have now gotten lost in the corn.
Yes,
Willie is saying,
I felt like that was
"Man,"
already established when I said they went into the corn.
Yeah. Willie says, man, you can't hardly see 2 feet out here. You can't hardly see the distance between the rows of this cornfield we intentionally entered. You can barely see through the corn of the
I didn't realize
cornfield.
when we were getting here that it was the extra thick kind of corn. Like that's why we're lost. So they hear a werewolf roar, what they say is a werewolf roar, and they decide like, oh my god, it's the Waya woman. No, it's not. She screams like a woman. She screams like a woman being murdered. It's the only thing you've successfully established in this whole show. Those altars, you don't know what the fuck made them. You don't know what they are. You know one thing. She sounds like a woman.
You should be saying, hey, she summoned a pack of lone wolves.
Yep.
Remember from the
Exactly.
truck briefing? This is her power. She summons. That's why she's called Queen of the Blood Wolves. Which, by the way, everyone has forgotten she's called that. Jeff improvised that on the spot, and it was immediately forgotten by everybody in the truck.
And the coolest thing they've ever said, and they're never gonna revisit it. How are these blood wolves? Did they paint the blood?
They made a blood wolf symbol for them, lured them up
And
there with a little girl, Buck's only weakness, and they still cannot remember.
So they all jump in their forest golf cart and hightail it for the trap. It's a very comforting scene. We all know.
Well, even more
we all know-
comforting than that, this is set up by Buck telling Willie and Bill to go get the golf cart and then come pick them up and
Yeah,
then
right.
take
Come
them to
pick
the
us up.
trap.
Yeah,
Not
and
let's
take us
all
up.
go running toward the golf cart. It's like, no, go get the golf cart and pick us up.
And they're all shouting and wooing. They're going, she's in the trap. I know she's in the trap. Just so ready to get their hearts
Why?
broken.
Is that the ruckus? They heard that and they're like, "Oh, that definitely was the trap door." Is
Yeah,
that
that's the trap noise.
okay?
Of
That
course.
makes sense.
Of course, they come there and they find the bait is gone, the door is half open. We're back to form. Failures of our own making. Totally avoidable failures of our own making.
With a taunt this time, like the creature left like a little taunt. It like
They
left
added
some
a little
weird
twist.
orb.
It had enough time sitting in that cage, just laughing at the cage, to put together a little arts and crafts project. And I guess the wolf made The wolf made like, it's like something a kooky ant would have in a pottery shack or something. It's just like a bunch of vines around some sticks. I think it's how you say nice fucking box in wolf. Buck says that looks like a witch's disco ball, which it's nothing. And Wild Bill goes, oh, what? Lord have mercy. Now this is how you can tell Buck wrote this part. Because Huckleberry also goes, a disco ball.
They are right next to the place where they enraged the murder dog. And they are just noisily laughing at the disco ball.
The murder
joke.
dog that summons other wolves to eat whole families, and they're inside the box. They're inside their own trap.
What? This might be the sacred symbol of the blood wolf, and they're just mocking it in a cage.
The Waya woman is out there going like, this stupid ball thing with the points on it, I've determined this is the bait for the Ames team. It's going to draw them into the cage, and they're going to inspect it and make disco ball jokes. That's when the wolves attack.
That's... God,
I also worry
this is how
that
they should have died.
some listeners out there thinking, okay, so now that they've got to go to that third point on the compass, now that they've done all of this, the trap stuff is done. Oh no, the episode's over.
Yeah,
they
they
do not do that.
They conclude.
Successful
They
mission.
do say, now that they've successfully failed as they planned, they do say we're going to come right back and keep going after the Waya woman. I say, why do you have to leave? Why do you have to leave and just keep going? Just keep going after her. But they're like, no. I say we come back and we show the Waya woman who the Ames team is. Now, you guys came here, got lost in corn, got distracted by kind of a ghost story you forgot you were telling, gave up on a one-armed pincer movement, and did not trap a werewolf in a box. I would argue you have told her who the Ames team is in the purest and utmost form it could possibly be.
I've said this multiple times this episode. This is the most Ames team this show has ever been. This is
there's nothing left to show her. I don't know what we're gonna do when we come back. You can't beat this.
If you were doing the drinking game, you were just completely fucked. Like long dead from alcohol poisoning. Like unsurvivable.
Anyway, so they failed and concluded. That was it. We're gonna go. We'll probably come back. So I'm putting another snapshot up in the Shame Shack. That was looking pretty full. You might have to build a second Shame Shack.
This is a wing of the Shame Shack.
All right. It's time to pick our favorite quote of the episode. Sean, how about you?
Okay, let me find one. Okay. It's early in this show where they're gathering evidence of this lady screaming in the area where they know that the lady screaming is the Waya woman. So they're told there's a lady screaming in this place where the lady monster screams, and Huckleberry says, "Man, this one's a stumper."
Classic Ames team. It's great. I'll go ahead and go next. I like it's a simple moment, but I like when they're doing the shirt goofing, when Wild Bill has his Cool Cat Cougar shirt. To end that scene as we're leaving, Huckleberry just kind of quietly says, you can almost not hear it, he goes, "I'm glad he's ours."
That's just a sweet moment.
It's really sweet.
Mine, I like this because it could be a slogan for this episode or this show. But when the team comes and meets up with the trap team to inspect the finished trap, Wild Bill welcomes them by saying, "The corn's fine. Come on in."
It's so fucking stupid.
Because you had to be